like to welcome everyone to St. Tammany Parish School Board special meeting for March 4th, 2015. Roll call, please, Ms. Weathers.
Mr. Luke?
Here.
Mr. Hennigan? Mrs. Hines? Here. Mr. Derman?
Here.
Mr. Harrell?
Here.
Mr. Nation? Mr. Jeter?
Here.
Mrs. Seeley? Ms. Drucker? Mr. Betancourt?
Here.
Mr. Womack?
Here.
Mr. Hersey?
Here.
Mrs. Smollett?
Present.
Mr. Alfred?
Here.
Mrs. Belisario?
Thank you. We'll have the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance led by Ms. Moe.
Would you please bow your heads? God of all creation, we thank you. We give you thanks for the many blessings you bestow on us. Please guide us in our work. Be with us as we set goals and make policies for this school system. We ask this in your name. Amen. How would you of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comments for 3 minutes. There were none. Agenda items. A, to receive the exit report from the Advanced Ed Accreditation team. Mr. Foles.
Thank you, Mr. Luke. Board members, I am happy to introduce to you the lead evaluator for our Advanced Ed visit for the last couple days, Mr. Bill Ravenbark, and Mr. Ravenbark will present the exit report that reviews and recommends from the Advanced Ed visit of the last couple days. Mr. Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Foles. And thank all of you for joining us today for this very brief exit report of the St. Tammany Parish School System External Review Team. A much more comprehensive report of the team's finding will be received by the district in about a month. I'd like to first introduce the members of the team, and please stand as I call your name. My associate lead evaluator, Mary Beth Huber. Mary Beth is a retired educator from Calcasieu Parish Schools.
Say it right, Bill.
Calcasieu. I'm still trying to learn how to talk around here. I'm from North Carolina, so Mr. Tom Daniel. Tom is the Chief Academic Officer from Bossier Parish Schools. You won't believe what I said that one was at first. Dr. Holly Castillo. Holly is the Assistant Principal from Grand Lake High School in Cameron Parish. Allison Groh. Allison is Curriculum Facilitator in St. Bernard Parish. Neskis Liriano. Neskis is Education and Community Specialist from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And Andrea Okonsky. Andrea is the Executive Director for School Leadership from East Baton Rouge Parish Schools. Combining the knowledge and expertise of a research institute, the skills of a management consulting firm, and the passion of a grassroots movement for educational change, we serve as a trusted partner to 32,000 schools and school systems, employing more than 4 million educators and enrolling more than 20 million students across the United States and 70 other nations. Advanced Ed was created through a 2006 merger of the pre-K-12 divisions of the North Central Association, which was called NCAE, and the Southern Association of College and Schools, better known as SACS, SACS, and expanded through the 2011 acquisition of the Northwest Accreditation Commission. Advanced Ed is the largest community of education professionals in the world. We are a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that conducts rigorous on-site external reviews of pre-K-12 schools and school systems to ensure that all learners realize their full potential. While our expertise is grounded in more than 100 years of work in school accreditation, Advanced Ed is far from a typical accrediting agency. Our goal isn't to certify that schools are good enough. Rather, our commitment is to help schools improve. The external review process stimulates and guides continuous improvement through a focus on teaching and learning impact, leadership capacity, and resource utilization. And these are known as the 3 domains of Advanced Ed. Professional judgment by the external review team results in powerful practices, opportunities for improvement, and improvement priority the Index of Educational Quality Scores, and an accreditation recommendation. While we were here, we interviewed a lot of folks in order to gather some of our evidence. Our evidence is based on what we see, and what we read, and what we hear, and the interview process is very important. And you can see from this slide that we interviewed over a 2-day period 258 individuals. The first domain is teaching and learning impact. The teaching and learning domain is comprised of all of the indicators for Standard 3, which is teaching and assessing for learning, and Standard 5, continuous improvement, and 4 evaluative criteria for the student performance diagnostic. I'm going to share with you now just a few of the findings that the team has for this particular domain. As I said before, a more comprehensive report will be coming to the district in about a month with all of our findings. Our first finding, system leaders, school administrators, and teachers use results, i.e. data and other information to guide continuous improvement. A system focus on training and engaging all appropriate staff in the interpretation and use of student performance data can lead to building a stronger foundation and institutional capacity for data-driven decision-making. The team noticed some great practices going on within the district, such as the whole faculty study groups, the design team meetings, the data retreats, the monthly principals meeting that all contribute to this. And we also encourage the district to continue the training, professional training for the professional staff and also support staff in the analysis and application of student performance data. Another finding, the district has placed emphasis on meeting the needs of students at every level using its theme of every day, every child. A systemic structure for meaningful long-term relationships between every student and adult advocate supports meeting the academic, physical, social, and emotional needs necessary for student success. And we found such a structure in many of the schools of the district. Advanced Ed encourages that a systemic structure or that a structure exists in all schools within the district. Another finding is a consistent focus on providing purposeful, meaningful, high-quality exemplars to guide and inform student learning can lead to improved student performance. In our observations with Elliott, the team found many instances of exemplars in the classrooms. Advanced Ed would like to see that expanded more frequently in classrooms. Exemplars are such things as rubrics and work products to guide students in understanding what the expectations are for their learning. Now we're going to talk about Elliott for a minute. The purpose of Elliott, or the Effective Learning Environments Observation Tool, is to identify observable evidence of classroom environments that are conducive to learning. The focus of the tool is to ensure that learners are engaging, acting, reacting, and benefiting from various contexts or environments that should be evident in all effective learning settings. Elliott focuses on student engagement, not on what the teacher is doing. It focuses on observed student engagement in their learning environment. It looks at patterns and trends, not in individual classrooms, and used as one piece of evidence to corroborate other evidence regarding learning. And some results will be reported not only in this report, but the summary reports will be reported in the external review report, the full report coming to the district again in about a month. So let's look at the Elliott scores. The Elliott averages for the external review team are listed next to the Advanced Ed Network, or AEN score. The AEN score is the averages of Elliott scores, or classroom observations, from all of the schools across the Advanced Ed Network across the country from last year. So you can see how this district, compared to the AEN scores, did very well. Outscored the AEN in 6 of the 7 areas, and was very close in number 2, the high expectations environment. The second domain is leadership capacity, and this domain includes all of the indicators from Standard 2, governance and leadership, Standard 1, purpose and direction, and the evaluative criteria from stakeholder feedback diagnostic. Those are your surveys that you did. One of our findings is the culture of the St. Tammany Parish Public Schools supports the system's purpose through shared values and beliefs about teaching and learning and a commitment to student success. Such things as your mission and vision, the themes over the last 5 years, your everyday, every child motto, we found you really do live that. The strategic goals that have been in place and the new strategic goals that are in process of being formulated, your living statements that have been evolving over time. You have excellent communication strategies, and the team was probably most impressed of all with the effective community support that this district has. It was evident to the team that you've worked very hard over the last several years to create critical partnerships of support for the school system, and we applaud you for that. Another finding, the St. Tammany Parish Board of Education aligns its decisions with system purpose and ensures that leadership at all levels of the organization has the autonomy necessary to achieve the goals of the district and its schools. We found that there is an excellent relationship of trust and respect between the Board of Education and your superintendent, and also between the superintendent and all the school principals. We found a commitment to an evolving strategic planning process, and we found that policies and practices that clearly support a path toward performance excellence. The third domain is resource utilization, and this domain contains all of the indicators for Standard 4, resources and support systems. One of the findings, St. Tammany Parish Public School System engages in a systemic human capital process to recruit, employ, and retain qualified professional and support staff to fulfill their roles and responsibilities in accordance with the district's vision and mission. We found an excellent process here for that, utilizing such things as your job fairs, your recruiting and marketing strategies, your induction and leadership programs, the learning communities that we found in the schools, and job-embedded professional development. Another finding within this domain, while there's evidence of resource strategies, there is a need for additional attention to long-term, measurable district goals and the criteria for evaluation to support the district's purpose. And this is right in line with what the district is all about right now. What this means is that since your district doesn't have a district improvement plan like some other states require, you do have a strategic plan. And Advanced Ed would like to see metrics attached to that strategic plan so that you can evaluate that, the goals of that plan. The balanced accreditation process is reported as an index of educational quality. This slide illustrates the institution's progress in each of the three categories and as an overall index of educational quality. And I'll show you that in just a minute. The evaluative criteria are divided into three categories: teaching and learning capacity, leadership capacity, and resource utilization. The index of educational quality and its three categories provide the institution with a clear picture of their current reality and a roadmap toward excellence. There are 39 total criteria included in the IEQ, 21 of which are related to teaching and learning impact, 11 related to leadership capacity, and 7 related to resource utilization. Our hope is that you will drill down into the individual indicators behind each of these scores to help you identify strengths you want to maintain and to help you identify areas of improvement. And if you look at this slide, you can tell that the St. Tammany Public Schools generated a score that's higher than all of the Advanced Ed Network scores. You should be very proud of that. For too many years, institutions have been judged based upon disparate and unrelated summative data points that fail to paint an accurate, holistic view of the quality of an institution. The scores have been used to target schools for punitive interventions as opposed to providing a formative assessment that guides sustainable progress and improvement. In 2013, Advanced Ed introduced an innovative and state-of-the-art framework to measure institutional performance that offers a deeper understanding of organizational effectiveness. The Index of Educational Quality, or IEQ, provides a holistic measure of an institution's overall performance based on a comprehensive set of indicators and evaluative criteria. As a formative tool for improvement, it pinpoints areas of strength as well as those in need of support or focus. And I will add that this is a key factor in the Accreditation Commission's decision on whether a district should be accredited or not. So can I have a drum roll? This is a slide you've been waiting for. The External Review Team recommends to the Advanced Ed Accreditation Commission that the St. Tammany Parish Public Schools earn the distinction of accreditation by Advanced Ed. Congratulations. I'd like to remind everybody that the External Review Team can only make a recommendation, and we're very proud to do that. But the final decision, again, as I said a little bit ago, is by the District Accreditation Commission. And that will meet again in June. And so that decision will be made at that time, and you'll be notified. I don't think you have a problem.
Good. On behalf of the board, Dr. Bill and members,
Yes. Just that if all schools can get better, and we're required as a team that when we go into a district, that every district, no matter how good it is, has at least one improvement priority. And this district has one improvement priority, and that will be forthcoming in the report, outlined in great detail. And as a part of that, some districts get many more than one, but you're only going to have one. And you have to report back in 2 years on your progress on that improvement priority. Some final thoughts here. The External Review Team appreciates your hospitality, support, and professionalism, respects and acknowledges the efforts to improve the quality of your institution, and congratulates your system and community on completing the requirements for Advanced Ed School System Accreditation. That concludes the report.
thank you very much. Thank you. Comments, Mr. Pope?
Go ahead now, Mr. Luke. Yes. Okay. Mr. Luke, board members, as superintendent, I am pleased to receive this report on behalf of our school board members and our entire school system. We will certainly review and evaluate the complete report at a future committee as a whole meeting. What we have learned here today validates and reinforced what we knew and have identified. As early as tomorrow night, as our committee as a whole meeting, we have plans to address some of the issues that have been brought again to our attention. So we're excited that what we heard from the committee was right in line with what we thought needed to be done, and we will start on that process as early as tomorrow night's committee as a whole meeting. I want to make a special thank you to our lead evaluator, Mr. Bill Ravenbark, and associate lead evaluator, Mary Beth Huber. Mary Beth was on the original accreditation team 10 years ago, and she even decided to come back 10 years later. I actually yesterday found a picture of the group, and I sent it to her last night, and I'm trying to get some brownie points. I said, there's a lot of people in the picture. You haven't changed one single bit. So evidently that worked, so we appreciate you being here for that as well. I want to thank our school board members for taking the time to meet with the committee, as well as their leadership and support throughout the process. This has been an extensive process that's required an immense amount of work by many, many people, including Regina Sanford, Amy DiCarlo, Amy Wuchner, Pete Jabier, all of our supervisors, and especially our C&I supervisors. I sincerely thank each and every one of you for your efforts. I want to say a special thank you to our principals. And they hear me say it all the time, but I'm going to say it again in front of everyone here. In today's world in public education, a principal job is an extremely, extremely tough position. I will put up our principals against any principals anywhere in this entire country, not only what they do for their kids from an academic point of view, but what they do for their kids for caring about each and every child in our school system. So I'm going to ask our principals to stand up and be recognized for your efforts. A special thank you to our assistant principals who are doing all the work back at the school while they're there. To our parents and community leaders who took part in this process. From the surveys to the interviews to the school tours, it has been a total team effort by the entire St. Tammany Parish community. 10 years ago, St. Tammany was one of the first 2 school systems in the state of Louisiana to receive district-wide accreditation. 5 years later, we received reaccreditation as a district, and now, here today, we celebrate again another reaccreditation. Within that time span, the last 5 years, there have been so many challenges for traditional public education in general, and the state of Louisiana in particular. Although at times there were some very rough times, our report that we received today highlights some of our many accomplishments. These accomplishments are built on a strong foundation of achievement. We are an A school system. Our students' ACT scores are #1 in the state and above the national average. 5 years ago, we had 7 D schools, and today we have 0. 5 years ago. And as you all know, we said it all the time, there are things that you can put a number or a score on, but there are other achievements that are not as easily measurable, but in my opinion, just as important. We have a community pride at each and every one of our 55 schools. And I think the team, and I talked to the members of the team, they saw that when they visited our schools. They talked to our principals, our assistant principals, faculty, staff, and community leaders. We have 11 national merit finalists in this school system, an amazing accomplishment. We have tremendous parental support. Over 50% of the PTA membership comes from St. Tammany Parish. We have established unbelievably strong community connections, whether with our business community, our chambers of commerce, our parish agencies such as law enforcement and parish government. Monday afternoon, we had a group of stakeholders in here to meet with part of the team from the community, and what an amazing, impressive group of people it was to be in this room wanting to be a part of supporting our school system in each and every way. Those connections that we've made have led to strong support and passage of 2 millage renewals in the past 5 years, unheard of in the state of Louisiana, with endorsements coming from important community organizations that believe in our school system and appreciate our responsible fiscal management. We have been through some difficult economic times, and with a lack of full funding from the state of Louisiana, we have managed our money, and we have, I'm proud to tell you, financial stability in this school system. All of these things have helped us reach our ultimate goal, the education of our students, highlighted by watching them proudly walk across the stage at graduation. As we talked about the other day, if you've ever been to one of our graduations, you've witnessed the best event of the year. You get to hear and see our students stand on that stage and have them talk about their education in St. Tammany Parish and where they are heading in the future. It is the embodiment of our motto of learning to last a lifetime. I am confident that when we are sending those students out into the real world, they have the knowledge they need to be successful learners. Whether they are moving forward, everybody gets that? All right. Whether they are moving forward into college, careers, or the military. As each of you know, in pretty much every speech I give, I talk about how extremely proud I am of our school system, our students, and our many accomplishments. But at each one of those talks, I always talk about that we are nowhere close to perfect, and we have so much work to do. There are always ways to improve, and we can always do things more efficiently. So I thank the team for their recommendations. I promise you that we will take them to heart and we will work on them and that we will keep you informed. And when you come back, Mary Beth, 5 years from now, you will see that we have taken your recommendations to heart, and we will be working on them as early as tomorrow night in our next committee as a whole meeting. We will receive the full report in a month or so. We will certainly review it, and we will continuously work towards reaching our ultimate goal of meeting the needs of every child every day. Thank you.
Certainly, on behalf of the school board, Mr. Foltz, we congratulate you and everyone in this room for another outstanding accomplishment. And of course, we always keep in St. Tammany #1 state of Louisiana, and we'll continue toward #1 around the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, any comments? All right. Announcements. Training on the board voting machine will take place at 6:15, March 5th, before the CAW meetings tomorrow night.
Is that the one thing?
Yeah. And the textbook selection committee meeting is this Saturday morning, March 7th, beginning at 8 a.m. at Lakeshore High School, for those interested in seeing the textbook selection committee. And
Reception in the atrium.
on reception following in the atrium. Thank you all. The meeting is adjourned.